I'm going to try this because I think good when I'm driving and it's private. But I thought I'd give it a, and I also have to talk when I can talk. Sorry about the annoying, but neither of my units puts out enough by itself to supply oxygen, especially if I talk. So this is an experiment, but I gotta say, I'm thinking about things that I believe are important as I'm scanning all the news and all kinds of news, liberal, conservative, and whatever else. I love listening to good arguments on both sides of an issue. And that way I learn a lot. I also learn when people refuse to have a debate with both sides clearly seeable, clear. That's very telling, extremely telling. But anyway, I'm thinking about things that I should put on a blog or something. Maybe people can let me know. But it seems to me, especially in light of some things that just happened with the Methodist Church, because I'm helping out with a local Methodist church here. Great folks, great pastor, great stuff. It's more lightweight scripturally than I like, but I feed myself. So I'm happy to serve the people here, play some guitar, throw 2 cents in at Bible study and men's group. And then recently, it rocked everybody with this decision to ordain gay pastors. So as I'm scrolling, or as I'm digging down into everything with regard to how they got there, watching interviews, people that left, people that didn't, people from the conference that this occurred at, which seems to have come out of nowhere, to me anyway, for sure, and to a lot of folks. I'm noticing some very chilling trends, not in just that organization, that arena, but the world, for sure, in America, sadly. And really it goes down to the erosion of foundations. Why is that glaring like that? Anyway, and it seems to me, in this immediate situation, the foundation of the reliability of the essential inerrancy of Scripture. And I put the qualifier essential because there are teeny weeny errors in Scripture, but they're minuscule, and those are some programs or chats or talks, whatever. We'll call them wheelside chats, since I don't have a fire and I'm by the wheel. But we can definitely dig into the reliability of the essential doctrines of Scripture. That's a world, a great world, frankly. The more you look, the more convinced you become. Anyway. And so there's, to me, some real rudimental, fundamental basics that we need to have nailed down in order to not be eroded, dissuaded, have what seems to be happening is the foundations of our faith are being diluted, and then they're not viewed as dependable or reliable. So back to scripture, just in this immediate situation with regard to how do we get to the point where we can ordain gays? Well, it's not a matter of compassion for the gays or not. More fundamentally, it's more to the fact that our belief in the reliability, authenticity, foundationality, is that a word? I don't know. Foundationality, foundational ability of Scripture has been eroded, horrifyingly eroded. In the beginning, I'm sure it was subtle, with certain things that make people question, could a loving God have done this? Well, I have answers for those, and they're fabulous. They're more amazing than you would think. But without getting off on that, we've allowed people to nail in certain questions that and this is my own outside diagnosis and a little bit of maybe a rabbit trail, I don't know. But it seems to me like something that we don't want to face, that our pastor never talked about because they don't want to face. It's harder to preach. It can cause more questions. It forces people to be more mature if they have to grapple with it. Those kinds of issues. And those are things I love to get into. Now, do we always feed the poor? Do we always forgive the way we think we're supposed to forgive? Those are issues that I have good answers for. So stay tuned. Anyway, so different issues that evoke questions seem to be avoided. And then people on the outside can take pot shots at them, or people on the inside can have genuine questions that are then viewed as adversarial or whatever. And people go, just believe by faith. I'm sorry. There's a whole lot of stuff you don't have to believe by faith, because the evidence is there. We're just lazy, or, as a lot of pastors are, way too overworked to hammer down, unpack, unravel all of this stuff. And that's my gig. I've always been that unraveler, dig into the dumb stuff guy. But those issues have been used, along with others, to undermine the reliability of Scripture. The evolution thing, which is fiercely guarded by a lot of mainstream science. Again, it's a whole huge, fabulous arena that has given me more faith and brain belief. I don't even need a lot of faith because the evidence is so overwhelming. I don't have faith. I don't have to have faith to believe this car was designed by somebody a hell of a lot smarter than me, and that it didn't just come into existence by random chance. Okay, I don't need faith for that. Neither anymore do I need faith to believe that an intelligent creator created the universe. Okay, the more we find out about it, the more we realize the evidence is overwhelming. So my evidence for the reliability of Scripture is so sound, I don't need faith, much faith. You always have to have faith for the leap that says, okay, and I believe it, the Creator was the God that I serve. That's another greater reason. So, what we've done is, what Satan, and I am a conspiratorialist. Satan is the prince of the power of the air. He's the ruler of this world, Jesus said. And he's done a really good job at undermining the underpinning of the faith of so many by eroding the Scriptures so that we don't deem them as reliable because of evolution, because of anomalies in Scripture that we can't explain, especially with our Western mindset and our current mindset, as opposed to how the Easterners recorded information. All right, I'm not done talking, but so because it's been overwhelmingly compromised, we've been able to sway away from the clear realities of some of the doctrines that should be governing our decision-making process. And that's how we got here in the first place. It's not a matter of choosing to include gays or not. More fundamentally than that, it's a matter of how in the world do we get from loving them into moving from that hurtful desire. It's hurtful for them. You know, whenever God forbids something, there's a reason. You know, the reason why the Jews were spared during the plague of the 1800s was because God told them to do something that we might consider, that people might have considered dumb. They had to wash their hands. Simple thing. Nobody knew why. God didn't explain anything, but they survived so much so that those around them thought that they were cursing them, that they were witches or demonic or whatever. But it was simply because they obeyed God and washed their hands and cleansed them from the infection. You know, when God says, don't do something, there's more of a reason than God being a cosmic killjoy. Anyway, that's enough. I think I might even post this, and if anybody likes it, let me know and ask me questions. All right, love everybody. All right, sorry about all this stuff, but I'm not ready to die yet, so encourage me. Give me a reason to do this. All right, peace, love. Jesus is Lord. Amen. Bye.